Well, if you're of a certain age, you will remember this right here. You remember this television show, Lost in Space? I'm old enough to remember it from its first run from 1965 to 1968, watching it as a youngster. Many of us know it from reruns and reboots and remakes, but you'll recall it tells the story of a family who is lost in space. It's a science fiction retelling of the story of the Swiss family Robinson. But the character of the robot became very well known. In fact, a catchphrase entered our lexicon of TV trivia when something was around that needed to be warned of, that danger, danger. And his sidekick was the son, Will Robinson, so danger, Will Robinson. I just wonder if that we could just take those words, and some of you could even hear it in the original voice in your mind right now, to think about the danger signals that go off in our hearts and minds. It seems like when we detect something, we think of something, suddenly the danger warning goes off. The warning lights flash. Well, how do we handle that, and where do we turn to that? I want to share something from the Word of God to tell you exactly a three-step process to how to handle, how to respond when the danger signal sounds. Stick with me. We're going to get to that in just a moment. Well, recently I was reading through Psalm 62. What a wonderful psalm it is. All the psalms are good psalms, but this one really spoke to me. Because there are those moments in my life, and I know they're in yours, where we hear the sound of danger going off in our minds. And it was certainly going off in the mind of David. And I just want to share one verse with you, but the context of the psalm is he understood that there were people who were actively plotting against him. They were wanting to oust him from his position. They wanted to destroy him at any cost. He talks about how he envisions them speaking of him in their conversations as this plot rolls on. It was scary, it was dangerous, the warning signs were flashing. After he deals with his own expression of how he felt in this situation, in verse 8, he gives us a three-part methodology as he now turns from experiencer of danger to one who is teaching us how to handle danger. He sort of becomes prophetic, or becomes the preacher role, if you will. And he says this. Let me share this verse with you. It's a good one for you to think of today. Trust in the Lord at all times, you people. Pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. I want to read it one more time. Would you just let this sink in? Trust in him at all times, you people. Pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. Three things to think about, and I will be brief. Number one, trust in him. That's what he says. Trust in him. I love that phrase, in all times, at all times. Any situation, no matter the danger, whether it's external, internal, perceived, real or not. What do? We trust in him. We take a moment to say, I'm going to not lean on my own resources. I'm not going to imagine the worst or the best. I'm simply going to turn that in my mind and heart over to God. Lord, I can trust you for that. And you can find much in the Psalms about why we should trust the Lord. He is strong enough. He cares enough. He's loving enough. He's merciful enough. He's creative enough. And all those things fit into the reality that he can actually do for us what we cannot do for ourselves. So we trust in him. Even if the outcome is not as we would wish it to be, we trust in him that he's got the big picture, the big path, the big plan of our life all under control. And then he goes to this, pour out your heart before him. We trust him, we talk to him. In those moments when the danger signals are blaring and our own heart is just disrupted and we feel destabilized by life, we just pour our heart out. Now, I love how he says not just talk to him, but to pour out our heart. Tell him how you feel. Lay it all out there. Whatever you're thinking, whatever you're feeling, whatever's going through your mind, lay it out there. You know, it's okay to complain to God. We shouldn't complain about God, but we can complain to him. Tell him how we feel. And David does that in this psalm, and you can too. There's something about just laying it all out there that leads us back to point one, to trust in him. So talk to him. Lay aside some time. Maybe you need to get away. Maybe you get away privately or quietly. Maybe you need to pray with somebody else that can help direct your prayers. But whatever you do, talk to him about it. Don't just talk to yourself and don't just talk to others. That might be helpful. But make sure first and foremost you talk to him. Pour your heart out to him. And then the last part of the verse, God is a refuge for us. What great truth that is. A refuge was like a castle you could run to. It was a defensible place. It was a place where you were safe. It was your safe space, your safe room. And he says God is that for us. He can be that person of safety. And basically I would say it this way. We trust in him, we talk to him, and we stick with him. We just continue to view him as our safe place, our guardian, the one who protects us. Don't abandon that. Don't panic and run. Don't give up. Don't give in to despair. Just continue to trust in Him, talk to Him, and then stick with Him. I don't know what danger signals might be going off in your mind. I don't know what might be awaiting you. I don't know what's up for me the rest of even this day. But I do know this. When the danger signal sounds, I and you need to trust in Him. We need to talk to Him, and we need to stick with Him. As we do, we're going to find God's blessing and provision available for us, and He's going to give us peace in our hearts as we wait for the outcome of whatever's next. Hope that encourages you. God bless you. Have a great day, trusting and leaning on the Lord, talking to Him and sticking with Him. We'll talk to you again real soon.